When the hours of punishment were over, she was taken back to the prison, and it was whispered by those who started after her that the scarlet ladder threw a terrible ghostly light into the darkness inside the prison door. Power, now a driver substance in the form of very small grains. Roger chilling was secret. Back inside the prison, Hector Pliny became strangely fearful and excited. The prison officer, Master Blanketer, watched her carefully, afraid that she would do something inviolate either to himself or to the child. By night time, unable to quieten her, and worried about the child who scared without stopping, Blanketer decided to bring a daughter to her. He described him to Hector as someone who had learned much about nature medicines from the Indians, but the man who followed Brackett into the prison was the man Hector had seen on the edge of the crowd earlier. The man she had watched in fear. His name, she was told, was Range Chillingworth. Blanketer brought the man in and stood watching in surprise as Hector became as still as death. The child, however, continued to cry, "Please leave us alone." Chillingworth said to the prison officer. And you will soon have peace in your house. He had entered the room calmly, carrying a small bag, and he remained calm after Blackheater had left them. First, he went to the child and looked carefully at her. Then he opened his bag, took out some powder, and put it into a cup of water. Innocent, 无罪的 adjective for not guilty or crime. "Here, woman," he said, "the child is yours, not mine. Give this to her." Hector did not move, and when she spoke, his voice was a whisper. "Don't take your revenge on an innocent child." Stealing woman. Revenge. Revenge. Stealing woman, he replied, half cold, half kindly. If this poor, insensible baby was my own, mine, as well as yours, I would give her the same medicine. he still hesitated. So he took the child and gave her the medicine himself. Almost at once she became quiet, and after a moment fell peaceful asleep. Chilling was prepared another drink of medicine and held out the cup of Hester. Drink it, he said. It cannot quieten your troubled soul, but it will calm you. She took it from him slowly, but her eyes were full of doubt about his reasons for helping her. Then she took at her sleeping child. I have thought of death, she said. I have wished for it, and even prayed for it. But if death is in this cup, then I ask you to think again before I drink it. You need not be afraid. He replied calmly. If I wanted revenge, then what more could I ask for than to let you live and suffer under the shadow of this shame? As he spoke, he put his finger on the scarlet letter, which suddenly seemed to burn red hot. Hetty's bosom. wrong verb, treat or judge someone unfairly. She drank the medicine quickly, then sat down on the bed where the child was sleeping. She watched, trembling, as the man she had wronged pulled up a chair and sat beside her. "Hector," he said, "you've been weak. But I've been stupid. Look at me. I'm older and ugly. I was ugly from the moment that I was born. But you were young and beautiful and full of life. How could I have imagined the day that I married you, that you would ever love me? How could a man of book and learning be so stupid? I never left or pretend any or love you." "I never felt or prevent any love of you," said Hector. "Sure," he replied. "I hope to make you love me." "I have great wrong you," Hector whispered. "We have wronged each other," he said. "I'm not looking for revenge, Hector. I wish you no harm, but there's a man living who has wronged us both. Who is he?" "Don't ask me," she cried, looking straight at him. "You will never know his name." His smile was both dark and confident. "Believe me, Hector," he said, "I shall know him. Although he does not wear a letter of shame on his cloth, as you do, I shall read it on his heart. I shall see it in his eyes. I shall watch him trouble, and I will feel myself trouble with him. But don't be afraid. I won't hurt him or harm his position in the town if he is an important man here. Now, shall I inform the law? No, let him live." Inform. "No, shall I inform the law? No, let him live. Let him pretend to be an honest man." "Heaven will punish him for me, but I will know him." "You think you will not harm him," said Hector, confused and afraid, "but your words frightened me." "One thing I ask you, who were my life," he said. "You have kept your lover's secret. Now, keep mine. Tell nobody that you ever call me husband. No one in this land know me, but there, on this wild edge of the earth, I shall stay, because you and yours, Hector Pliny, belong to me. Lover or hate, right or wrong, My home is where you are and where he is. Keep my secret. Why do you want this? Said Hector, certainly afraid of his secret agreement. Although she did not know why. Why not say openly who you are and send me away at once? Perhaps because I do not want to hear what people think about a husband who joins his wife to another man. He said, let them then think your husband is already dead. Pretend not to know me. Not to know me. Do not tell our secret to anyone. The most of all, not to your lover.
好，我这边是售楼部的。
骚扰电话，真可恶！骚扰电话。Do not confound adjective mixed up to one mind. 迷惑。Do not feel in this Hector. Remember, he's a good man. His position, his life will be my hand. I will keep your secret as I have kept his, said Hector. And now, Miss Perini, said the man called Lord Chillingworth. I will leave you alone with your child and the scarlet letter. He smiled slowly. Hector stared at him, afraid of expression in his eyes. Why do you smile at me? She asked. Have you tied me into an agreement that will destroy my soul? Not your soul, he answered with another smile. No, not yours. Earthly, adjective on earth rather than in heaven. A fatherless child. 没有父亲的孩子 A childless child. Hector Prince time in prison now came to an end, but she did not move away from Tom. The father of her child lived here, and here she would stay, although she kept this thought hidden guilty in her heart. The reason she gave himself for staying was this: I sinned here. I sinned, 我犯罪。And I will suffer my earlier punishment here. There was a small cottage just outside the town. Looking out across the sea towards the forest-covered hills of the west, and Hector and her child went to live in this lovely little house. They had no friends, but Hector soon found that she could earn enough money to buy food and clothes for herself and her daughter. She was clever with a needle and the scarlet leather which she wore on her bosom. Boson was a perfect example of her work that everyone could see. So, Hector's beautiful sewing with its patterns in gold and silver thread becomes fishing with the rich and important people of the town. Her needlework was seen on the shirts of the governor. On the fine dress of the ladies, on the baby's little caps and hats, and on the burial clothes of the dead. Hector had employment for as many hours as she wanted to work. She used whatever time she had left to make clothes for the poor people of the town, although she got no thanks for it. Puritan. Puritan, a number of Protestant religious group in the 16th and 17th centuries who want to make religion simple and indeed she found no kindness anywhere. The Puritans of that time were had judges, and a woman who had sinned as Hector had sinned was always an outside. Every word, every work, every code, accusing silence remind her of the shy and the lonely mystery of her life. Even the children ran after her in the street, shouting terrible names. She lived very simple. Her own dresses were made from dark, colored cloth, with the scarlet leather brought on the bosom. Her children's clothes were the opposite, in medals of deep, rich colors, which beautiful patterns sewed in golden thread. Her daughter's name was Pillow. She was a pretty pearl, but a child of many modes. One minute bright and happy and loving, the next minute dark and angry, a child of sin. She had no right to play with the children of godly family and like her mother. Godly family and like her mother, she was an outsider. In a strange way, Pearl seemed to understand this, and often screamed and threw stones at the other children. Hector worried about her daughter's wildness, and tried hard to collect her, but without much success. Sometimes her only hours of peace and quietness were when Pearl was sleeping. One day, when Pearl was about 3 years old, Hector went to house of the governor Bellingham. He was taking a fine shirt she had sewn, but she also wanted to speak to the governor in prison. But now a law sick plant. She had heard that many Puritans in the town want to take Pearl away from her. They said it would be better for the children to grow up in a more godly home than Hector Pilens. So it was a worried Hector who walked to the governor's house that morning. She had dressed her daughter in a beautiful red dress, adding the children's natural beauty. And as Pearl danced along beside her mother, it had a strange effect. The child in her red dress seemed like the scarlet letter in another shape. The scarlet letter gave life and movement. At the governor's house, the door was opened by a servant. "Is the governor in?" asked Hector. "Yes," replied the servant, "but there are people with him at the moment. You can't see him now." "I'll wait," said Hector, and stepped into the entry hall. The hall was wide, with a high ceiling, and there were heavy chairs along one side and a long table in the center. At the far end of the hall was a big glass door, which opened out into a garden. Hector could see rose bushes and apple trees, and Pearl immediately began to cry for a red rose. "Shh, be quiet, child," said her mother. "Look, the governor is coming down the garden path with 3 more gentlemen." "Beard, long hair that grows around man's chin." 哎呀，暂停一下，已经有点累。坚持。Governor Bellingham with his great beard walked in front. Behind him came Johann Wilson, the older priest, whose beard was as white as snow, and behind him was Arthur Deman's door. There, with Roger trailing with the young priest. Her health had been poor for some time, and Roger Charling was well known in the town for his knowledge of medicine. Was now both friend and doctor to him. The governor pushed open the door and found himself looking at poor, while Hector stood in the shadow of a curtain, half hidden. "What have we here?" said Governor Bellingham, surprised to see the little skeletal figure in front of him. "Yes, what little bird is this?" said old Mr. Wilson. "Who are you, child?" "My name is Pearl," answered the little girl. "Pearl," replied the old prince. "But where is your mother?" "Ah, I see her now." He turned to the government and whispered, "This is the child we have talking about, and look, here is the unhappy woman, Hector Clean, her mother." "Is that right?" agreed the governor. "She comes at a good time. We will discuss the matter now." He stepped through the door into the hall, followed by his 3 guests. "Hector Plain, we have been asking many questions about you recently. Are you the right person to teach this child the ways of the God, and so make sure of a place in heaven for his soul?" Richly. Adverb, having beautiful, strong colors. You are a woman who has sinned. Will it not be better for her if we take her away from you and teach her the truths of heaven and earth? What can you do for her, woman? 好。哎呀，4点、5点、20，肚子有点饿。
看响应键，到后面去看。你坐远一点呀！好亮呀！
有。
哪个？看一下看。
不对，是这个饼干是不是你的？
哎呀。好嘞，今天的话就看好了。看书的真的不直播的话。